we are at Vitojo monitoring well, and we are meeting this gentleman who is going to introduce himself and then take us through what is done at this well. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. My name is Stanley Lobi Oketayot. I'm the water and sanitation engineer, Water for People. So here we are at Vitojo monitoring well, one of the monitoring wells in Biguli sub-county. So as part of the sustainability model to maintain the systems that has been constructed in Biguli sub-county, we are monitoring groundwater performance using what we call a CTT diver. So the diver measures electrical conductivity, measures temperature of the water, and then measures the groundwater variation of the water. That is the depth. So here we have the diver. Here we have the diver that helps us to track performance of groundwater on periodic basis. So so far from the monitoring that we have done, we have realized most of the wells we have here in Biguli depend so much on rainfall for their replenishment. So now in rainy season we normally experience a rise in groundwater level, and then in dry seasons we normally experience a drop in groundwater level. So far that is what we do here. So on a period of 3 months we come with the laptop and a tracking device. So what we do, we retrieve the diver from the monitoring well. We read the data, and then we share the data with the umbrella authority and with other relevant stakeholders who can help us in decision making in regard to system sustainability.
So how has the data helped you make decisions, or could you give us the decisions that you've been able to make here in Biguli pertaining the data that you pick from these particular wells?
So far, following the monitoring that we have done, and given that we have realized that usually groundwater level drops in dry season and rises in rainy season, one of the decisions we undertook was, one, to ensure that we hold enough rainfall that we get during the rainy season, so that when we store this rainfall, I mean what we get, the water that we get should be able to recharge the groundwater aquifer that we have. So the decision we took was to restore a number of wetlands that were degraded, because we can only hold this water through the wetlands. That's where the water ends. So far we have restored about 98.3 acres of wetland here in the sub-county of Biguli. And this has helped us a lot in regards to groundwater fluctuation. These days we do not experience a lot of variation. Yes, there's some little drop during dry season, but usually the fluctuation is not that much. So that's one of the decisions we took in regards to the groundwater monitoring that we are carrying out.
Can you really tell us something about the activities that are engaged with the communities close to those wetlands?
One of the things we do as part of the activities is demarcation of the buffer zones for these wetlands using reinforced concrete pillars. So when we line up those pillars, it informs the people who are staying near the wetland that this is the area, the zone that you are not supposed to cross. Because when they cross and they go into the wetland, now they would degrade. So that's one of the things. Secondly, we realize actually most of the people who are staying near the wetland, they were generating their source of livelihood from the wetland itself, because others were carrying out agricultural practices in the wetland. So we came up with alternative livelihood, for example, fish farming. So we engaged those ones who used to previously encroach into the wetland to get into fish farming, so that they generate or they derive an alternative livelihood that will make them not to go back into the wetland. Yes, there are some areas where we met some bit of resistance, like because some other activity that we did, we had to cut down some of the unfriendly water trees that have high crop water requirement, like eucalyptus. So there are instances where we got resistance and we had to use enforcement. So the district leadership, they were empowered in order to enforce, so that those ones who have, let's say, like eucalyptus trees within the wetland, they have them removed. And then those ones who are not easily moved away from the wetland, move out of the wetland. So those are some of the activities we did.
Thank you so much, Stanley. This is very good information about how we can restore wetlands.